Hi everyone. I wanted to just do a very brief explanation of what you're going to be working on this week. So here we are on Brightspace, and my view might be a little bit different from yours, so don't worry about that. I just wanted to explain that this week I am opening two modules at the same time so that you have kind of a big chunk of time to self-pace yourself and do some of the work. In this first module, week 7, wait for that to open up. I am discussing all of the concepts you need to know for your project, the composite portrait. So we're looking at all of these different artists and how they're related to composite portraiture. So the idea of composite portraiture is basically when you're taking a portrait, and a portrait is an image of a person, and you're mixing it in with some other type of imagery. Okay, so look through all of these different artists here and to get some kind of a concept of what we're doing. The two that will be the most relevant to this project are the last two, Dan Mountford and Christopher Relander. So looking at their work. So here, a portrait is, we want to see the face of a person. So it's not, we're not going to expect to see like the entire person standing or anything like that. And this is an example of imagery that has been mixed in with the portraiture. Okay, so these two artists are the ones, and I have links so you can look at more of their work, but these last two here are the ones that are most relevant to the kind of composite portrait project you're going to do. Then under Photoshop tutorials, I have some tutorials for you to go through, and here under project description, I have the full description. But we're breaking this project up into 2 weeks. So for this first week, what's due at the end of Module 7, which is March 10th here, is that you are going to shoot 10 portraits. So you can use your phone to do this. I want the portraits to be different. It could be all the same person if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be. But this is what we're looking for, as we want to get something like not a distracting background. You're going to want to remove that anyway. So the clearer the background is, the easier it will be for you to remove it. And we want to get like a decent amount of face in the image. We don't, again, we're not looking for like awkward poses or someone where we're seeing the whole body at a distance, because we're focusing on the face. That's what portraiture is. So you're going to try to get 10 different ones, and then I'm going to help you pick which 2 will be best, but you're going to submit the 10. And then you're going to start gathering images. You could scan them, you can photograph them, you can collect them, images that you want to composite, which means again combine with your portraiture. So think about the person and think about, so what are some images that might go well with them? Is this a person who's a real bookworm, for example, so you'd get a lot of images related to that, or are they a person who loves to be outside? So think about the images you're going to get to composite with the portrait. But so again, this week, that's what you're doing. You're getting the photos and you're getting the pictures, and you're going to be submitting those. And then next week is a short week because we have spring break, and this project is going to be due afterwards. Next week is when you're going to actually start compiling and putting them together. Okay, let's just look over here at some past student examples quickly. So this project is all about masks, and two different types of masks. Clipping mask, so we use a clipping mask to be able to get the imagery inside of areas like this. This is also a really cool example of not just like forcing the imagery to be inside of the head, but using the mask to form like the outline of the head. And then for all of the images that are inside the mask, all of the images that are inside the portraiture, of going into the layer masks and really softening the edges so we don't see like the edges of any of the individual images that are inside of the portrait. For this project, you have to have at least 5 images that are inside the portrait, and then something that is on the outside as well. So you're welcome to put in more than 5 images, but just to point out, the one on the outside doesn't count towards the 5. Okay, so if you look at these examples, you'll see how you cannot really tell where one image starts and where one image ends. All of the edges have been blended together seamlessly. All right, so that's just a heads up. You're going to have this 2-week project. This week, again, You're just working on getting the photographs and collecting the images that you want to put into the project. And then next week is when you're actually going to be working on putting the images together into the portrait. I'm trying to pull up week 8 here. Yeah. And then this is going to be done or due at the March 24th because of the spring break. So it's due when we get back from spring break. All right, let me know if you have any questions.